Hi, I'm Travis, a service technician here at Welker. Today I'm going to show you how to install, set, insert, and retract this IRA-4SS automatic insertion probe regulator. The IRA-4SS delivers a continuous supply of representative samples to your analyzer at the appropriate pressure for real-time natural gas analysis. The IRA-4SS, which features our AI control, when used with the pipeline isolation valve, the IRA-4SS can be safely inserted and retracted without interrupting the flow or operation of the pressurized pipeline. By applying and relieving pressure to the hydraulic oil in the oil reservoir, the shaft can be smoothly inserted and retracted. Pipeline gas or auxiliary gas can be used to insert and retract the shaft. If the process gas contains liquid, sand, or other abrasive contaminants, if you're sampling propane for example, we recommend using an auxiliary gas supply like clean, dry, nitrogen gas. Installation, insertion, and retraction procedures vary slightly when using an auxiliary gas. Please refer to the Installation, Operation, and Maintenance Manual available at our website for comprehensive instructions, or call us at 281-491-2331. When installing, inserting, and retracting a Welker IRA, we recommend having a few tools on hand, like a measuring tape, felt tip pin, wrenches, and a 3/16 hex key. If you're using an auxiliary gas, you will also need a valve plug. Before installing the IRA-4SS to the pipeline isolation valve, we need to determine the insertion depth and position of the lock collar. We'll measure from the top of the pipeline isolation valve to the desired insertion depth. We recommend the center 1/3 of the pipeline. This measurement is our shaft insertion length, 9 inches. Starting here at the top of the standoff, you measure along the insertion shaft to your desired insertion length. You can use a felt tip pin to mark your insertion length. Next, we need to position the lock collar, which mechanically limits the insertion length. To do that, we need to remove the lockdown bolt and loosen the cap screw on the side before carefully sliding the lock collar to our insertion length. With our lock collar in position, we tighten the cap screw. This secures the lock collar to the insertion shaft. Before beginning, we will check to make sure all of the valves on the IRA are closed. Valve A, the insertion retraction valve. Valve B, the oil reservoir's vent and relief valve. Valve C, the oil reservoir's isolation valve. And Valve D, the isolation valve for the process. Now, we're going to install the IRA to the pipeline isolation valve. Once the IRA is installed to the pipeline, we back off the adjusting screw on the regulator subassembly to remove tension from the spring and close it. We recommend connecting vent relief valve B on the top of the oil reservoir to a recovery system. We're ready to open the pipeline isolation valve now. We do this slowly and check for leaks. Our valve reads 0, so we can continue. If the gauge didn't read 0, we would close the pipeline isolation valve, remove the IRA, and check it for internal leaks. Let's insert the shaft into the pipeline. On the IRA, slowly open isolation valves C and D. Next, we open the insertion retraction valve A. Our shaft is inserting now, so we can stop opening insertion retraction valve A. Now that the lock collar has reached the top cap, we can close isolation valves C and D to stop applying pressure to the oil reservoir. We'll secure the lock collar to the top cap by installing the lockdown bolt we removed earlier. With the shaft inserted into the pipeline and secured, we can relieve pressure from the oil reservoir by opening vent relief valve B. To start sampling, we would use tubing to connect from the outlet on the IRA to our analyzer. With the IRA connected to the analyzer, we must set the regulator. Turning the adjusting screw clockwise puts tension on the spring and sets the outlet pressure. Once the gauge reads the desired outlet pressure, we tighten the jam nut to secure the adjusting screw at this setting. Before retraction, we must do 3 things. 1. Make sure all valves are closed. 2. Confirm the vent relief valve B is connected to a recovery system. And 3. Disconnect any tubings, fittings, or instruments from the outlet. On the IRA, we'll open insertion retraction valve A and then slowly open isolation valves C and D. With pressure applied to the hydraulic oil and piston, we can close isolation valves C and D. We'll remove the lockdown bolt from the top cap, which will allow the shaft to retract. To retract the shaft, we will relieve pressure from the hydraulic oil reservoir by slowly opening vent relief valve B. We want the shaft to retract slowly and smoothly from the pipeline. With the shaft retracted from the pipeline, we can close vent relief valve B. If the IRA will stay on the pipeline, Welker recommends securing the lock collar to the top cap. To remove the IRA from the pipeline, open isolation valves C and D to relieve pressure. Then, disconnect the recovery system from the vent relief valve B. For comprehensive instructions, please refer to the Installation, Operation, and Maintenance Manual available on our website, welker.com. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. For more information on the IRA or any other Welker products, contact us today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, or leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.